Subscribe, follow, like, share. Last Bell Boxing. These guys give you all the exclusives, and next time I get my fight date, it's going to be exclusive on here as well. So make sure you give them all a follow.
Hello and welcome to the latest video from Last Bell Boxing, joined by regular Sean. How you going, Sean?
Evening, mate. Everything's good my end. How are you?
Yeah, all good. Thank you for joining the show. Much appreciated. So, the topic for this video is Johnny Fisher and the breaking news that he's decided to move from Mark Tibbs to Tony Sims. So I thought we'd have a chat about what we think that looks like and why he's done it, to be honest. So, obviously, Tony Sims has had some big names, probably a little bit bigger names than Mark Tibbs if you look at it when you break it down. Well, however, Mark Tibbs has had Johnny Fisher since Southern Area days, right? So he's took him right through the levels. So it's an interesting choice. So did a bit of own work. Obviously, Tony Sims, Conor Benn at the minute. He's had Joe Cordina in the past, Ricky Burns, Darren Barker. Whereas Mark Tibbs, you're looking at Dillian White, Ryat Paul, and Billy Joe Saunders. I've got to be honest, Sean, they do tend to leave Mark Tibbs, don't they, after a certain period of time? It's a bit of a common theme, to be honest. But give me your thoughts, Sean.
Yeah, it's a strange one, really. I think I saw a tweet from Enzo Macronelli, who said it was a bit of a strange move, and I think it is really, because Tony Sims isn't renowned for training heavyweights, really, is he? I suppose you could say Mark Tibbs is the same. But yeah, I mean, I guess he's staying local to Essex, isn't he? I guess that's one of the reasons why he's probably doing it. But yeah, it come out of the blue, really. It seems to come with big fanfare, but I don't know about Johnny Fisher, to be honest. I don't know if he's really any good as a fighter, if he is fringe British level. I guess we're just yet to see the ceiling with him.
Yeah, he definitely has got a ceiling, hasn't he? Mark Tibbs might be in danger of being compared to his old man, obviously Jimmy Tibbs, who had a stellar career, right? That doesn't help, does it? When I know Tony Sims has got family in the boxing as well, but I feel for Mark Tibbs a little bit in this because I think it wasn't quite the end of the journey for Mark Tibbs. I think he had more to offer Johnny Fisher, didn't he? And like you said, with his history around heavyweights, I do wonder if this is the right move for Johnny Fisher. Time will tell. But I think he's moved for the sake of moving, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, they always seem to do that, really, don't they? It's almost one loss or a couple of bad performances. I don't know if it's just a boxer thing in general, but they can never seem to take responsibility just that it wasn't good enough, and they always look for someone to blame. Well, that's how I see it anyway. And it seems that Fisher's obviously come out and thought that Mark Tibbs was the problem rather than him, and sort of changing his fortunes with trainer.
It's a bit of gamble, isn't it? A bit of a gamble. Sometimes a bit like football teams when they're languishing near the bottom of the table, they switch managers. Sometimes you get that bounce, sometimes you don't. So, Sean, if we would fast forward 12 months' time, what level would you expect Fisher to be operating at?
I don't think there's too many high runs on the ladder for him to go, to be honest. I think he's probably out or near his level now, and that sort of Dave Allen. Whether you class Dave Allen as British level, fringe British level, wherever you put him in that sort of pecking order, I think that's probably as high as Fisher will go. I think often he gets compared with Fabio Wardley because both not really had amateur experience, both sort of brawlers, if you like. But I think even with Fabio Wardley, he's still levels above Johnny Fisher. And I think with Johnny Fisher, he kind of fell into boxing by all accounts, coming from rugby. And I think he's hit his limits at this stage, really.
Yeah, I think you're right when you say he fell into boxing. I think he was a good ticket seller once Eddie Hearn got behind him. And I do draw parallels with Sam Eggington a little bit. Not in weight class, obviously, but the fact that he sold a few tickets, it was good to put on a card, right? You know, it was always entertaining. I do think he's a little bit better than probably Eddie Hearn thought he was. But I think we are where we are. I think he's going to end up doing the British route, Jamie TKVs, the Adelaides, the Fraser Clarks. I think that's where he kind of belongs. He could almost, this is a bit unfair, but he could almost become a bit of a gatekeeper going to that British title.
Yeah, and he's always going to sort of have the copper box or copper bush, as they like to rename it, to sell out, isn't he? Because how popular he is in the sort of London Essex region. So he'll always be able to make money off him. So I think that's a distinct possibility.
Do you think that'll be enough for Johnny Fisher, though, to be floating around that sort of level? Because he tends to have ideas a bit higher up than that, doesn't he, when he speaks?
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, he's a fairly honest guy. I don't think he's someone that would lie to himself personally. So I think he probably knows. I mean, let's be brutally honest, easy for me to say. If you can't beat Dave Allen, really, when you don't know what version of Dave Allen you're going to get, that's a sort of telling point of how far you're going to go, especially as Dave Allen openly admits himself that he's not really even British level at times. So I think for Johnny Fisher, I don't think he should be too ambitious. I should think he should go one fight at a time. Who knows who he'll fight next? But sort of as you said, Carl, sort of British level will be his ceiling.
Who would you put him in with, Sean?
I guess the sort of Jamie TKV
Solomon
loser.
After him coming off a win.
Yeah, someone like that, Solomon Dakers, someone like that maybe, that kind of level, just to see where he's at. You imagine it will be a fairly routine fight, first one under Tony Sims, and then they'll go from there.
Yeah, that Dave Allen defeat could prove to be a better defeat than we think at the minute, though, because we don't quite know what Dave Allen's got in the tank, do we?
Yeah,
so, it could be a scenario where Fisher might not be as bad as we think we are on the back of that defeat, because if Allen goes and wins his next fight, all of a sudden that puts a different spin on it, don't it?
Yeah. I think it does. But I think with most things in boxing, I think we'll have the benefit of hindsight with that one, so we'll be able to sort of see over time. But I think, notwithstanding, I think Johnny Fisher is still quite limited, and I think he won't go above British level, that's for sure.
Does he win the British title, Sean?
If he gets the right opponent, I think he does. I think Fraser Clark probably beats him at this stage, to be honest. I think if TKV comes through, that's a competitive fight. One that's a genuine 50-50. But yeah, I think the right opponent, he can win. Obviously, I doubt he'll drop back down the level, but if it was someone like a Moses Atauma, for example, he would have no chance. So I think it just depends who's the champion at the time and if the odds are in his favour.
Yeah, I think timing's everything, right? He's still a young lad. Whatever he's got Eddie Hearn backing him, the likelihood is that it'll get him a British title fight in the Copper Bosch. And I think the odds will stack up for him sooner or later. So I think he will win the British at some stage. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but I think he'll win it before his career's out.
Yeah, in a kind of strange way. It probably sounds a bit silly, really, me saying this, but I do see slight comparisons with him and Campbell Hatton, as in they both sort of sell tickets, both popular in their areas, and because of that, they was probably put in positions where they wasn't quite ready. So I think there's a decent comparison there as well.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if Eddie Hearn does retain his attention towards him, because Eddie Hearn's very quick to say, he wants world-class fighters at Matchroom. They all need to prove themselves, etc., etc., etc. So Eddie Hearn's very good at spinning a narrative, don't get me wrong, but he's got his work cut out with Johnny Fisher if he has another couple of defeats, hasn't he?
Yeah. I think it's going to go one of two ways. Either changing to Tony Sims will be the lighten of the touch paper he needs, and he'll really kick on, or it will go the other way. If he loses, I think he'll go in a bit of a spiral. And by all accounts, he's got like this social media persona with his dad that he can go into. So I don't particularly think he needs to box for financial reasons, put it that way.
Okay, that's mine and Sean's opinions on all things Johnny Fisher changing trainers. Add your comments below. A lot of traction on the channel at the minute, a lot of opinions being given. Look, we take all opinions on this channel. So like, comment, subscribe. This has been Last Bowl Boxing, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, mate.